Hey folks, this is an announcement video for what will be, by my standards, a fairly short call to heroes. It's a video where I'm telling you how to submit a character for my next Nobunaga's Ambition LP. So what we're doing is I had already announced, for those of you who are watching the RTK stuff, and most of the people who are following any Nobunaga's Ambition are also following RTK. Well, we had our last Zerf charity stream. I said that I would be playing another Kohai strategy game, either RTK or Nobunaga's Ambition. I believe I said during this stream that my loose plan was to play for the third time. It's the only one of these games I've played more than once because it is my favorite of them to play. Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. I'm going to play that again. So the prize, and I'm giving you an inside line on now don't have one is Zerfal's mother-in-law, and not applicable is Zerfal's brother-in-law, who both selected. Somehow they wanted a character in JG's Let's Play, but apparently in both cases that was in error. So maybe I'll make a character called Uncle Harry, who's like Uncle Baldo's brother-in-law. I don't know. But anyway, I've got my list of people who donated $100, so we're doing things a little differently this time. It's Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. I've already done videos on how to do this in the past. So what I'm actually going to do, in the description of this video, I will link a video where I've previously done this. But if for some reason the link doesn't work, you can search Mysterious JG. The video title is Nobunaga's Ambition to End MS in Canada, parentheses, and probably Japan and the rest of the world, close parentheses. That is a 42-minute, 43-second video I did like 3.5 years ago when I was getting ready to do my second playthrough on the channel where we did the Date forces. And what you can do is if you skip to the 16-minute mark, it will be me describing how to submit a character for a Let's Play. The first 16 minutes is talking about the game, talking about the different scenarios we could do, watching the intro cinematic for the game. You can skip to the 16-minute mark, and I will walk you through the entire process of submitting a character. I will be giving you little hints and tips, possibly. And at that time, when I was explaining it, I was explaining how to, we were going to be playing as the Date under the leadership of Masamune. This time, I might change my mind, possibly at the 11th hour, the last possible second, but I think we're going to play as Shingen Takeda. We're going to start with a scenario where his father is in charge, and then events take place where Shingen overthrows his father, becomes the ruler of the Takeda clan, and we'll play through the history of the Takeda. And I'll have to figure out how far I want to follow the history because, of course, the Takeda don't win. So I'll probably want to break off because I'm sure there are historical events around Tatsuyori. Is it Tatsuyori? Am I getting his name right? Katsuyori Takeda. The disastrous battle at Nagashino. The Takeda were basically utterly destroyed by the combined armies of the Oda and the... sorry. Losing my mind here, the Tokugawa, but it's basically the Takeda were like one of the two really impressive feats that the Oda accomplished, where it was defeating the Takeda and then their big victory over the Imagawa. But no, we'll be playing as the Takeda. Unless I change my mind, I might decide I want to play as the Mori because they had kind of an interesting story starting out. Although that might be a bit easy mode because they start, like, their historical events leave them with a big chunk of territory, but they're not particularly aggressive. I might decide I want to play, instead of playing as Shingen, I might want to decide to play as Kenshin Uesugi. But I think we're going to play as the Takeda. So, as I said, I'm going to link the video in the description where you can see how to submit a character. The difference this time is I've only got a few people. I've got... Kazuhiro Samadesu, Laurentian, Dekai, Bob Jackson, Steve Thomas, Froxus, Travis the Unknown, or the Unknown, Arthresh, Shaman, Ald Dragon, Azure Rain, Aghamarand, who will not be placed in charge of a district. Sorry, man. You know I love you. Not putting you in charge of a district. This game doesn't really do districts anyway. Toll Panzer, Earl King, and Colin Lancaster. Those guys, if I don't hear from you before submission time is up, if either A, you already have a character from the last LP, I'll just use that one. And you guys paid your money, so if you don't submit a character, I will make one up. Normally, I'm very insistent. I'm not going to do the work for you. You have to make one up. I will make one up for those guys. Anybody here on this list, if you don't get back to me with a character, or if you just reach back and say, go ahead and make one, I will make one for you this time because there's not that many. Be advised, though, I might make a character you don't particularly care for. I might make you female for variety. Maybe you're a female. I shouldn't be assuming you're not, but most of the people who are watching this channel are probably going to be male. So I might make your avatar female for variety's sake. Some of you might not mind, whatever. But more importantly and more likely, I might make your avatar kind of a dull but useful political officer when you might have had in mind being somebody exciting and warmongery. So just bear that in mind. You're best off submitting your own character. This is a different list of people who submitted who did not necessarily say they wanted a character. So same people mostly: Colin Lancaster, Darnell Taylor, Laurentian, Richmond Dye, Mysterious JG, whoever that is, Binary, All Dragon, Leva, Fatal Alex, Bob Jackson, Arthresh, SKS, Shaman, Froxus, The Unknown, Young Straight, Agmam, Toll Panzer, and Lethal Feline. It's like Lethal did not specify he wanted a character. Lethal already has a character from the last LP. He was actually really good, and I plan on including Lethal in the LP whether he wants it or not, because at this point, I've already got a call created for him, and he's really good. But anybody on this list too, write in the comments and give me follow the what was laid out in the video I'm linking to. You can even go to the comments section of that, and you can see examples of people submitting characters if you want to follow one. Like I remember Akari Yando, user Iron Ant submitted a character named Akari Yando. I remember getting some use out of her, but she just happens to be one of the first ones I noticed in the comments here. You can follow any of those as an example of how to lay it out. Or you can just give me an overview of what you want your character to basically be, and I'll figure it out for you. A couple of things that you would normally have to pick that I would say don't worry about. I'm going to make everybody, unless you specifically say I want to be older, I'm going to make everyone have the 110 lifespan, which is the maximum lifespan, and I'm going to make everyone be born at the roughly the same time to be just old enough to appear as officers at the beginning of whichever scenario I do. So I haven't figured out exactly what year the starting point is, but everyone who submits a character, we're all going to be on the same force together. We're all going to be working probably for the Takeda, and you're all going to have the maximum possible lifespan. So if you don't want that, specifically say, I want my character to be like, in their 50s when the scenario starts. I want to be like the old man. Like if you want to role play something, that's totally cool. Go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I will go in and pick skills and growth types and stuff if you don't follow the example. If you don't want to go to the prior video and watch 30 minutes of how to create a character, you can just give me the overview. Things that you will want to kind of specify based on what's in there are, do you want to be good at war or at civilian stuff? And a fairly important one, actually, how squeaky a wheel do you want to be? One of the things that you can really lay out in this game is the required loyalty. The higher your required loyalty is, the more difficult it is for me to keep you happy, and the more likely I am to have to give you treasure or put you in charge of a castle or something to keep you loyal to the Force. So some people specifically wanted characters, they were like very high loyalty. They will be tried and true warriors of the Force they start with, and they set a low requirement for loyalty. Other people like Grimmett specifically wanted to roleplay as a character who was going to be kind of churlish and difficult to keep happy. And honestly, some of those characters ended up showing up in the LP a lot because I had to make them the lords of the castle, because that gives a loyalty bonus. I had to give them treasure and stuff like that. So that's a thing to bear in mind. Otherwise, even if you don't feel like submitting a character, maybe go to the video in the description, because at the 16-minute mark, I just go through the portraits. That's what most of the time is, actually. It's not really 30 minutes of explaining how to submit a character. About half of it is me cycling through the portraits. And be sure to select your first choice for a portrait and then at least 2 alternate choices, because you're going to want to bear in mind that there's a real good chance that the portrait you want is either selected by somebody else who's going to be submitting a character at the same time, or might already be used. So even if you're looking at my video from the past and it looks like a character name's associated, feel free to pick it, because if this is somebody like, for example, YouTube user Iron Ant had the character Acariando, but they did not submit to this one, so they're not going to be included. So if you find the Acariando portrait and you're like, oh, I'd like to have that portrait, you can have it. So I would recommend going to the video in the description of my old character creation video, picking your portrait from where I go through the portraits, and picking a preferred portrait and then at least 2 alternates that you could get instead. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. You have to pick first name, last name, pick your portraits. You're going to need to pick your gender, pick one of the voices. I'm taking care of birth year and lifespan, unless you have a specific request. I want to be old when the scenario starts. I want to have a short lifespan. Say so. Otherwise, you're going to get the regular. Then there's tenant, ideals, required loyalty, tier, all those things. Just don't worry about them too much. But if you really want to get into it, check that other video. And now I need to stop talking, or this is going to be as long as one of those videos is almost. But I encourage those of you who are participating. I've known people who've had a lot of fun with this by role-playing in the comment section. Other people just watched and never role-played one bit, but watched every video and consistently. Like, there's people who I've never seen them in the comments really talking too much about their character, but always show up, always submit a character, always comment on the final video of every series to say how much they liked it. So, do what makes you happy. But if you are on this list, you are entitled to a character. So the last thing for me to say before I wrap up, I am recording this, and I'm going to try to post it on January the 23rd, 2022. I have the series this is replacing is wrapping up this week. So what I'm going to do is take a break next week, and I want to start posting videos for this new series on the 6th. So that being said, maybe the first video of this new series will be me going through these created characters and showing them, but I'm not going to have time for my normal practice where I post the created characters and then give you a week to send me any corrections. So apologies in advance if I get anything wrong, but this is your comment section below is your only chance to really explain to me what you want to have as your character, and then they will show up on the videos that will debut on the 6th. So this being the 23rd, I'm giving you guys until the 3rd of February, Friday, February 3rd. Some point during the day on Friday, February 3rd, I need you to have submitted your character, because I will be on the weekend of the 4th and the 5th. That's when I will be recording videos to go public on the 6th, the 8th, and the 10th to maintain the kind of upload schedule that I've had going for RTK. All right? I think that's everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So if you are one of these people, submit your character, or in the comments, because there's not that many of you, you can give me an overview of what you want your character to be, and let me fill in the details for you if you would like. But I would recommend you go watch that video and pick a portrait that you like. You're going to need to get this done by the 3rd of February. So if I catch you on vacation or something away from your computer, I apologize. But like I said, I will endeavor to make sure everyone who's on this list that confirm, I know for sure, donated 100 and specifically picked getting a character as their incentive. If I don't hear from you, I will make some effort to do right by you, and you will be joining. There's going to be a handful of people who maybe weren't able to donate, but are going to be, like Bobo always gets to be in there. Grimmeth didn't technically make the list. I've already got a character for Grimmeth, unless he specifically tells me no, I'm gonna just put my long-standing Master Reaper will be in there. Lethal's like freaking monstrously effective, crazy ass warrior guy will be in there effing stuff up, and you can join them. Think about it, won't you? Thank you. And thanks, guys, seriously, for supporting Zerf's annual charity drive to fight MS. Catch you guys in Feudal Japan.